Hi, everybody. My name is Anna, and welcome back to Cloud with Anna. I am so excited to have you all here. And Cloud with Anna is a community that I created where we can learn together about cloud computing and technology, and at the same time, uplift each other and just grow our careers in technology. And so, if this is something that resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe and leave me a comment. You are more than welcome here. And so, as you can see by the title of this video, here's my story of how I failed the AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification twice and how I eventually go ahead and get the certification and passed it. So here's my story. And so before I tell you exactly how I passed my certification eventually, I have to give you a little bit of context. And so I initially got interested in AWS and cloud computing by an apprenticeship that I was completing back in 2022. And so in 2023, I got a project where I needed to talk about AWS. And back then I had no idea what AWS was and how it worked and everything. But I had to do my research and I eventually discovered that AWS was the Amazon Web Services. And so I got really interested in that because, that was something completely new to me. But for whatever reason, like I just got interested. And I kept doing my research, and I eventually saw on LinkedIn that they were opening a cohort um, about it was called Cloud Up for Her. So it was like a cohort for the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. So before me even like learning about the cloud practitioner, the first certification that I learned was the AWS Solutions Architect. And so I went ahead, like I'm really curious, so I went ahead and I applied for the cohort and I got accepted. And so I was so excited. I was like, what? Did I get accepted? What is going on? But yes, I got accepted and I went through orientation and it was like a big cohort from women all around the world. So I was so excited. And I think that was, if I remember correctly, that was in June or July 2023. So, I just went ahead and I started learning, but I quickly realized that I didn't understand anything. I didn't know what they were talking about. And now I realize that, that was an associate certification. Of course, I wasn't going to understand anything because I didn't have the foundational knowledge to be able to tackle that certification. Okay. And so I remember in one of the orientations, one of the ladies was talking about, if you don't have the knowledge or if you don't have the previous certification, you can go ahead and use this link to just learn about the foundational certification, which was the cloud practitioner. And so I was like, okay, like maybe I can just start from there and then eventually, you know, get this certification. But for me, the goal was the AWS Solutions Architect Associate. So that was in the back of my mind. I wanted to get that certification. I didn't know exactly what it was all about, but I wanted to have it. Whenever I set my mind into doing something, I will do it. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take. It doesn't matter, if I don't know or not. Like, I'm gonna get it. And so I had my mind set up in that certification, but obviously I had no knowledge, so I have to start from the ground up. So I went ahead and I clicked on the link that she gave me, and then from there, it took me to the AWS site for the for I don't remember exactly what it was called. I will put it here after I edit the video. But anyways, like I went ahead and I started learning for the foundational certification. So I remember that course was 6 hours long, and I learned a lot, you know, during that certification. And it was like it wasn't like a certification per se, but you will get a badge like after finishing the certification, or like the training, I would say. And I was like really interested because I feel like I was learning really like fast the material, and also the people that were doing the videos, they were so funny, and like for whatever reason that, that got me excited and like engaged. And so from there I went ahead and I finished that course. And I was like, okay, so, I feel like I'm good. Like, I finished the course. I'm ready to take the AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification, and I will pass it. I was delusional back then. I was delusional, but at the same time, I was hopeful. I'm enthusiastic. So I was like, I'm ready. I finished this course. I'm ready to tackle the certification. So let's go. So I went and I took my first certification without any practice exams, just based on the knowledge that I got from that course that was only like 6 hours. But I was fine. So I went ahead and you know, I took the exam. Everything was going fine. Like I answered like all of the questions and everything. And well, not all of them, because like I couldn't finish the exam because my power went out the day of the exam. So like I was almost like finishing up my exam, the power went out, and obviously I couldn't finish the exam. So that was fine. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? Like I couldn't finish the exam, but it was okay. I got the results and I have them here. I got, so for that exam, for the cloud practitioner, you need to pass the exam with a 700. And even though the power went out and everything, and I couldn't finish like all of the questions, I got a 677. So literally, if the power wouldn't went out that day, I would have probably had my cloud practitioner back there in September 2023. Okay, and that was just me with the knowledge that I got from that course, without getting any like practice exams or anything like that. It was just my knowledge based on a 6 hour course from AWS. But yeah, after that I was like, okay, so I mean, I almost got it. Like, I just, I couldn't finish like all of the questions, but like based on that, it seems like my knowledge is good. But from there, I don't know why, but I went in like I couldn't, I didn't focus. I would say I didn't focus on like getting that certification, and so I was like, for a month I didn't even study. I didn't do anything, and so I didn't pursue having that certification. But then in November, I was like, randomly, I was like, okay, I need to get the certification. I mean, I almost passed it the last time. So let's go ahead and study a little bit more, and, and pass the certification. So in this time, what I did was that I took the same course, and this time I kind of like paired it with like a practice exam, but it wasn't like a long one. It wasn't like 100 questions, nothing like that. I think it was only like 25 questions or something similar to that. So obviously that's not enough for me to be ready for the certification. And so from there, I went ahead. I kind of like went ahead again and like took the course again, and then I took the 25 questions practice exam. And again, I thought I was ready for that. Like I was, I thought with that I was ready. And, I wasn't, obviously. So in November, after a month of not doing anything, like not learning, I went ahead and I think I I studied for like a week or two the second time, and then I felt ready to take the certification again. So in November, I went ahead and I took the certification and I failed. And this time, I couldn't like blame anything. It was just that I wasn't ready. Like you know, I didn't focus enough on passing that certification. And that was all. I couldn't blame it on the power. I couldn't blame it on or anything else. It was just me. I had to focus and like pass that certification. So the second time I also have it here. So I got a 668 points in that certification. So I did worse than the first time. And I realized that it was because obviously I didn't take enough time to study for my certification, and to practice and truly learn the material. So that was fine. I was like, at the third time, I was preparing and I decided that I was going to do things differently. So the first thing that I did is that I went on YouTube and I searched the AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification, and I came across a video and they were talking about how they passed the certification using a Udemy course. And so I was like, okay, Udemy, okay. And so I went ahead and went to Udemy and I searched AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification. And the first course that I got was from Stefan Marek. That guy, I love that guy. I don't know why, but like he explains everything so well and in a way that I can understand it like this, like super fast. And at the same time, I have realized that I am a visual learner. So his videos are basically everything for me because like he uses like diagrams where you can see like how the different services interact and all of that. So it's amazing. Like literally it's amazing. Like all of the different certifications that I have taken and I have passed are using those courses from Udemy from Stefan Morek. So Stefan, I love you. You're the best. And so yeah, from there I went ahead and I took that course and I was serious. Like at that point I was serious. I was like, okay, Michelle, if you don't pass this certification this time, it's okay. You have the foundational knowledge. You're going to move along to the AWS Solutions Architect Associate. Because that's honestly, being completely honest, that was the certification that I wanted, the AWS Solutions Architect. But then obviously I wanted to have that validation as well because I wanted to pass the cloud practitioner. So I just, I said it one more time. Like, if this time you don't pass that certification, you're going to move along, but you're going to give it your all. So you're going to study and you're going to take practice exams so that you can pass the certification. So fine. That day, I think it was like about a week or so that I seriously, pursue getting that certification. I was like, okay, this is the time. So I remember I took the course, I finished the course, and the same day that I finished the course, I had to take the certification. And that was in December 31st, 2023. So I was like, we're starting the new year with this certification in the name of Jesus. Amen. So I went ahead and, by the time that I finished the course, I couldn't take the practice exam that came with the course because I wasn't going to have enough time. So I just trust God. I just trusted God. And I was like, okay, so I have my notebook here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to study. I'm just going to study based off my, based on my notebooks and my notes. Like, I'm just going to study what I learn. And hopefully that is enough for me to pass this certification. And so I remember I was so, like I was so exhausted that day because I woke up early to study the rest of the course. And at the same time, I was so nervous because it was my third time like taking this exam. I was like, I need to get it together. I need to pass this exam because I have to continue my learning. But yeah, that day, it was I was so nervous, but it was okay. I remember I was like, I took the exam at home. Back then, I was in another country, so I was staying with a friend, and so I remember that I was telling her like not to talk, not to do anything because it was proctored. So whatever thing that happened, it could like I don't even know how to put it, but it could make me fail the exam. So I was like really nervous. That was the first exam the third exam basically, that I have taken at home. So I was still nervous. Like I was like this, like super stiff. But yeah, I went ahead and I got the exam. I finished the exam. Everything was fine. So I just had to wait for the results. So I got the results. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was that same day that I got them. But yeah, I got the results and I got 730 out of 700. So I could score up to 1,000 points, but I got 730 and I passed the exam. Oh my God, I was so excited to pass this exam and the certification. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I cannot believe it. Like, I finally got the certification. And then from there, like, I got super excited because I got the email that says, congratulations, you passed the exam. And then I got the badge, like, officially. Like, I got the certification. So I was more than excited. And, that taught me a lot of things. Like that taught me perseverance. That taught me, like the power of, you know, believing in yourself. Because even though if you fail once or twice or how many times you fail, you can do it. Like if you focus and you know, if you try one more time, you can get it. And so this is my story of how I failed twice the AWS Cloud Practitioner Certification, but then I eventually passed it. And if I did it, you can do it. You got this. And I'm here as a resource. If you have any questions about the exam, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will answer you and help you as much as I can. And yeah, you got this. Bye bye.